I feel like I'm old enough, but not old at all. I feel like I know a lot of things and nothing at all at the same time. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode. I'm going to start today off with my highs of the week and the lows of the week. I'm going to call them good things, hard things. So, some good things for this week. I got a mic, which is why I'm recording an episode. I wanted to wait until I got a mic to record my second one, and I got this DJI mini mic that is wireless because I want to use it for other things as well, not just podcasting. So that's why I got this wireless one, but it's so cute. I have a windscreen thing on it, even though I'm indoors and I definitely don't need it. But it looks adorable, so I have it on. So please don't judge me if you're a tech savvy person. Hard things this week. I have been kind of aiming for this certain like look or weight. I don't really want to say weight, but I guess like weight I want to get to by March because I have a wedding where I am getting married. So my wedding in March, and this is like a huge event for me. It's very expensive and very exciting, and I want to look like my best self on that day, and also like continue to feel that way afterwards. But I'm really like focusing on this day and how I want to look or feel on that day. I think we all have different goals that we want to get to, but I just have a particular point I want to get to, and that's where I'm aiming for. And I have been healthily, like exercising and kind of just adjusting my diet slowly for the last maybe half a year. I have been gradually trying to get to where I want to be. But over the holidays, I ate a lot and I was not worrying about anything and I was eating a lot, not exercising. This is okay because we do need a break, but now that I'm back, it's January and it's like 70 days until my wedding, which is not that much. And I feel like I am plateauing and it's stressing me out a little bit. So that's kind of giving me a lot of anxiety with my relationship with food. Every time I eat something, I'm thinking about how I'm plateauing and what if I don't like reach my goal or what if I don't get to where I want to be by March. So like every time I have a solid meal, I'm thinking this and it's kind of giving me a lot of stress in terms of my relationship with food. So this is something that has been hard for me this week, and I'm going to try to like shift my mindset next week. Today, I want to talk about entering a new life stage in my mid 20s. So currently, I'm 25 years old. I feel like I'm old enough, but not old at all. I feel like I know a lot of things and nothing at all at the same time. I feel experienced and inexperienced, and I feel mature and like a kid all together at once. And it's overwhelming and confusing, and I feel like I don't know who the heck I am or what I'm supposed to be. Supposed to be. I was kind of the beginning of this spiral I was going through. Well, I have been having this like not midlife. Wow, I have been having this quarter life kind of crisis for a while now. Maybe it's been like a year. The beginning of last year, I started kind of wondering what it is I wanted to do with my life, and that just threw me into a spiral. I'm not like overwhelmed about it. I don't think about it every day and get stressed out or anything, but it's just something that's always in the back of my mind that I'm kind of thinking about every time I make decisions or decide to do something new or challenge myself or whatever. And it would be nice if I had kind of like a solid answer of like what it is I wanted to do. I have a hard time every time I make decisions in my current life because I don't know if I'm headed in the right direction, because what even is that direction? So I've been doing a lot of journaling and introspection. There's just been a lot of thoughts that come up while I do that, related to this and not related to this. So I'm just gonna like talk through it. I have my journal open and also my laptop. Key to when you're having a crisis to write things down and do like mind maps or brain dumps and just like journal your brain out. It's like the most useful thing you can do for yourself. Kind of where I started my introspection journey is when I started feeling like I was at a different place from the people around me who are the same age. And this is not just me. I think everyone feels this way in some way or another. Either you feel behind or ahead or at in alignment with the people around you, and it also varies by who you are around. So maybe some of my friends I feel very like in alignment with in terms of like life stage, and then other friends are in very different places, and it's all fine. There's no right a place to be or right time to be or a right way to do things. But in terms of my experience personally and how I feel is where I want to focus on today. So because I'm 25 and I'm getting married in March, it's not like I wanted to always get married early. There was actually a point in my time in like university where I called my mom and told her, please don't expect me to get married at all. I'm going to live the rest of my life single and not have kids and just live a free single life and maybe have some boyfriends and a dog and have fun. So, this is what I told her at some point in my life. Uh, and I was so sure about this until maybe a few years ago. My whole world just shifted from there, and my priorities kind of shifted, and my life goal or my future vision changed because I met someone where I was able to really vividly imagine my life together with, and like having growing a family or entering like these different alternative like life stages with. Getting married, it makes me feel like I am suddenly like moving really fast with my personal life. So I feel very very like ahead and mature, like I feel very ahead with my personal life. And then in contrast to that, in terms of work, I don't feel this way at all because I'm still, maybe it's my second year officially like working as an employee out of university, and I feel like I still don't know anything. I feel like my skill set is still very weak and I don't have enough on my belt in order to kind of like keep me through surviving in the world. This is something I have like very big like internal conflict with because in terms of my personal life I feel like very very ahead and stable and like old in a way, and then in my work life I feel so young and I don't know anything and I have no skills. It's all relative, like it's probably in my head. If I ask my coworkers they would probably tell me otherwise, but this is just how I feel like as a person when I'm like looking at myself from a third person view. I just feel like I don't have anything yet. Like I don't have anything I can sell to the world with myself yet. And this kind of gap is giving me like a identity crisis because it's like on one hand I feel like I have everything under control, and then on this other hand I feel like I have nothing under control and I don't have a say in anything. I guess it's very normal, and at some point these things will like catch up to one another. But I feel before, like when I was in school, your whole life is kind of surrounding school. And that I feel is very different from now, where I don't feel, maybe some people feel this way, but I don't feel like my whole life is surrounding, like it doesn't have work at the core, even though I spend 5 days of my week working. That's not like, it's not like my whole life and then I have other things, little things surrounding it. When I was at school, that's what it felt like. I felt like school was my like whole existence, and then I had these little things surrounding it. Now that I'm working, how I feel work is, it's a big chunk of my life and it's how I spend most of my weekdays. So it's something I really feel like I commit to and I spend a lot of my energy on, but emotionally it's maybe like a percentage of my emotion pie chart. So time pie chart wise, it takes up a lot of my time, same as school did. But emotional pie chart wise, it only takes up like maybe like half or a quarter, and then the rest is on like my partner or my family or my finances, personal goals, etc. Like there are so many other things that are just as important to me. Before, I was thinking about how all I had to think about was how I can get like school under control, and then everything else kind of fell into place. Like if I was having some kind of struggle or crisis, it was mostly around school, and if I figured that one thing out, everything else would kind of solve itself. Now if I have an issue in one place, it's might be very different from my issue in another place, and my concerns in this other subject or area, and they don't necessarily all like connect with one another. Like even if I solve one, I'm still going to have issues over here or over there. So this complexity, I think my brain has not caught up to yet, and it's giving me a lot of confusion recently. Another thing, I feel like when I was younger, I felt a lot more free. And this is interesting because in terms of like control wise of your like own life, I definitely have more freedom now, in terms of the control I have over my money and the control I have over my time. But obviously with that comes responsibility, and that's why we feel more tied down a lot of the times. So in if I do feel like mentally, like the thoughts I had in my brain before was more like open and wild and free than the thoughts I have in my mind now. Before, when I would come up with these ideas, I didn't really think about the financial constraints that came with it, or like other issues like time wise, like if I was going to be able to fit that in my schedule. If there was something I wanted to do, I would just think it and just think, oh, that's something I want to do, and that was the end of story. Maybe I would do it, maybe I wouldn't, I don't know, but it was just a very simple thought and a simple desire and a wish or a dream. Now when I think of things that I want to do, or think of things like think of ideas, any thought, along with it I think of the cost that comes with it, or the time it takes, or if I can fit into my schedule. And immediately on the spot, when I think that thought, I kind of sort it into a idea that I can or cannot do, or an idea, if it's an idea that is plausible in my life or not plausible. And I feel like this is an issue because it prevents me from kind of having like a more bigger goal or dream, in a sense. Like I immediately kind of sort my big goals into like things that I may not be able to do, because of like time wise or money wise. Like, okay, this is something that doesn't make sense. My brain thinks that, because I know how much money I'm making, how much time I have, and how stressed I am, and everything on my plate currently. So taking all that into account, my brain automatically kind of sorts it into the won't do or can't do pile. And it's kind of sad to think that, because I would rather be able to come up with a bunch of um, like ideas and thoughts without any constraints, and then kind of try to figure out which ones of those I really want to do, and then figure out in what ways I can make those things come true financially or time wise. So that's something I've been trying to train myself to do. It takes a little more introspection than just like coming up with it in my head, because if I just think of it, then I do that thing where I automatically sort it. Instead, I've tried to be more active in kind of approaching those thoughts. So when I journal, I really actively like mind map and think of goals I have or things I want to accomplish in my life. What helps me is also talking to people around me. So especially my like fiance, because we are sharing this life together. We share goals that we have together as like a team, and what things that he wants to accomplish that maybe I also can contribute to, or things that we have as a goal as a family instead of just me personally. So these things kind of, now that I have these ideas like more clarified in my head, then I'll take those and really kind of write them out and think of what I have to do in terms of like actions and actual like legitimate steps in order to accomplish those things. So if they're just thoughts in my head that I just let them run loose, more often than not, my brain doesn't let myself kind of think freely. So I have to actively kind of force myself to think outside of the box and let myself dream bigger now that I'm a little older and I have a lot of info that is maybe blocking my view, my thoughts. I love tortilla chips. Actually, that's another good thing I have for this week. We got this whole bag of tortilla chips from Costco. You know, there's Costco in Japan, and it's so good. I just love tortilla chips. When you try to buy tortilla chips at like a regular supermarket in Japan, it's so expensive and super oily, and it does not do justice. So, yeah, you have to go get it at Costco. That's like the place you have to go in Japan to get your tortilla chips. Anyways, so basically this year I want to make it a year where I kind of figure out my life and get out of this rut. So in order to do that, I have done my goal setting for this year and like actual steps that I can take to make myself kind of feel like I'm moving forward. And I've kind of made like an action plan of things I can actually do to help me excel in the aspects of my life where I feel stagnant, especially since I was talking about how I feel like I'm ahead in my personal life but behind in my work life. Then I feel like that means I'm unsatisfied with my skill set in work, which is, I think, now that I saying it out loud, I feel that that's true. So that's something I feel like I need to work on more. So I want to become a stronger employee for my company, not just like for my company, but like as an individual with a skill set who is working in this economy. I want to be more competitive as a worker, and someday I want to be able to work for myself as well. So that's something I like have to do for myself and my future self. If I want that to, if I want to accomplish that at some point in the future, then I have to work hard now. So this is something that I want to focus on this year, kind of building foundations for a more successful future in my life. So that is my theme of 2026. I made a mandala chart and I wrote in the middle 2026 building foundations for a successful life. And my six main mandala chart topics are health and habits. That's one. And then finance, that's two. Skill is three, like skill and like work skills, that's three. And then my life goal and hobbies, that's four. People is five. Six is basically like dreams and ambitions. Seven is this is hard to say. I said 丁寧な暮らし in Japanese, and that means kind of like slow, peaceful living. Not just slow, but like intentional. That's what it is. Intentional living. And then the last one is family and friends or relationships. So these 8 topics are my topics of the year, and I have like individual goals for each of those topics. And my main overarching theme, as I said earlier, is to build foundations for a more successful future. So doing things like this and actually actively, I look at this chart every morning to make sure I'm doing the little habits and things that are going to excel me in order to accomplish these goals that I have for each of the subjects. So this is so important to be like active in your own dream. Like it's your life, it's your dream, it's your goals, and who is going to take action for them and make them come true if you're not going to do it? So I don't want to be complicit in letting myself loose and letting myself go in terms of goal setting. I don't want to be the one that tells myself that it's okay if I don't let things happen. It's okay if you just slack off all the time. No, like I want to help myself in the future. I want to invest in my own future. So kind of the mentality shift I've been trying to have because I was in a rut for a little bit. So I'm trying to get out of it by really motivating myself in terms of goal setting and just like the way I talk to myself. And then also talking things out with people once you journal. I like to talk things out after I have my own set of thoughts. I don't like to just like brain dump. Well, sometimes I do, but a lot of the times I don't like to just brain dump my thoughts. I like to kind of figure out my thoughts first and what I think about them, and then go to like a trusted friend or family or member or partner, and get their input on it, and then like kind of reanalyze my thoughts, because no one is ever right. No one ever has the answers, especially since it's about your life. They can give advice and people can talk based on their experiences, but that doesn't mean it's going to work for you, and that doesn't mean it's going to be the answer for you. If you also kind of form your thoughts first, then you have a basis of what your values are and what your idea is before it's kind of contaminated with other ideas. So if you first get like input from a friend, then you never know what you would have thought before they said this XYZ. So kind of having a clean slate and always organizing your thoughts first before consulting with other people, I feel like that's really helpful in really figuring out what it is you want to do or what it is you are thinking. If any of you took away anything from this that was even a little bit positive, then that is a joy for me. So I hope you guys had fun listening to me ramble. And if you guys enjoy this podcast, please like and subscribe. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.